I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me for this
Oh, of
interview.
course. We're so glad you can join. Emily's going to join us here in a minute. I'm glad your invite sent because it's said, I don't know, TikTok's been so weird here lately. Like that new update, it is,
Yeah,
it's been awful.
yeah, I know. It's been crazy.
Yes. But, your TikTok algorithm is currently working very well because you just had a video pop off here recently.
Yeah, thank you. I've been excited about that.
Absolutely. Well, of course, you had an original song get over 1 million hits on YouTube. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that the first time you've ever had a song do 1 million?
It is, yes.
Nice. Did you do
I
anything to
kept watching
celebrate?
it go up and I was like, please hit a million, please hit a million.
Well,
So yeah, I was very excited for that.
you posted another one and it got like 90,000 views, I thought. So that's pretty good too.
Yeah, it got a few. So I was excited about that one too. So
And the title of that track is Hey Girl, correct?
it is, yes.
Okay, well, why don't you tell us a little bit about that song, how it came to be, how long it's been out, and where everybody can listen to it?
Well, it came out last Friday, so on June 2nd, and it's called Hey Girl because it's just a message to really any girl or anyone really out there that has had issues with anxiety. I have generalized anxiety disorder myself and panic disorder. So it's helping me also, but it's for anyone out there that's been through anxiety, loss, bullying, and really anything you're struggling with, even heartbreak. And so I wrote it from kind of my experiences because I've been through all those things. And so that was the inspiration for this song.
That's awesome.
So
Pardon me, this is Emily finally joining us.
hey, it's good to meet you.
Hello, nice to
We're
meet
getting
you.
some nice comments on our end. People are saying that you sound a lot like Lainey Wilson and they love your accent.
Oh, thank y'all.
What kind of accent is it? Is that like in North Carolina? Are you from Tennessee?
I'm actually from Georgia. So I'm from a little town like about halfway in between Chattanooga and Atlanta.
Okay. Which town
So
is that?
it's Canton.
Canton. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, are
So
you a Braves fan?
I am, yes.
Yes. We're gonna go
I
on.
am,
Great.
yeah.
I love the Braves. I love the Braves more than I love her, and I love her a lot.
Oh, right.
Yes, I love the Braves too. I used to go to games all the time, so
Who's your all-time favorite player?
um maybe Chipper Jones.
All right, now we're talking.
Probably like that was like one of my first memories of like going to a Braves game and I was like 5 and everybody had like the Jones 10 shirts on and everything and I was like, well, okay. That'll be my favorite player.
I love that. So, how long have you been playing music professionally now?
Well, I started playing in a band when I was 12.
Wow.
And then around that time I started writing also. And then about 2 years ago we started coming up to Nashville. And so really I mean I would say things got kick-started with when I was 12 and started playing in the band. But I would definitely say in the past couple years with me being in Nashville, um, putting out songs, that's definitely been kickstarted more since then. So
Were your parents musicians?
my dad's a musician, yeah.
Nice. I figured since you said
So
that. And what kind
yeah,
of music
he's a
do you play?
bassist. So I always grew up. He always had his own band, and so I always grew up like listening to band practices in the basement, and so I've always been around it.
So, did he do country or rock music, or what kind of music did he do growing up?
He mostly did rock. I didn't really know that I was going to do country until I started that band, and I never really listened to it that much because I mean, my name's MaCartney, so I always grew up listening to the Beatles and stuff like that, and I just never thought about country, but then I started listening to it and I was like, okay, this is the genre I want to do.
So give us a couple of rock bands that your dad really turned you on to as a kid, and then give us a couple of country artists that really inspired you to want to do country music.
Okay. So, when I was little, I would actually fall asleep, like as a baby, in the car. My parents would play Grateful Dead, and that would put me to sleep in the car. And I always grew up listening to the Beatles. Um, I love Elliott Smith and Oasis. I love them. And Guns N' Roses. Those are like some of my favorites that I listened to when I was younger.
Yep.
But honestly, Carrie Underwood was the first country artist that kind of made me want to pursue country.
What about
So,
Taylor? Did you
what?
like was it just her songwriting, her voice? What attracted you to Carrie Underwood to be like, wow, I really love her and country music?
It was her voice, but it wasn't the stereotype I had thought of country music.
Well, she had
Because like
boxes.
female country and male country is so different, and like year by year it's so different. And so I always just like, I didn't expect it to sound quite like that. And so I just loved like her style of writing, and her voice is like incredible. So she was the main person that really got me onto country. And then I started listening to like Taylor's old stuff and really like diving deep into that, because I've always been a Taylor fan, but it was like her later albums.
That's all she loves is
Yeah.
Taylor.
No,
So like I was like huge Reputation fan, but then I started like digging into her earlier albums, and that's when I started like really getting into country. So
Awesome. So we did a question. They want to know, are you playing at the CMAs?
I am not playing at the CMA Fest, but I am doing a meet and greet. So I'll be at Fanfare X on Sunday at 11 with
This coming
Nashville
Sunday?
Universe. Yes.
Okay. What's the date on that? I will publish this probably later tonight or
Okay.
tomorrow. So tell
Yeah.
everybody where they can come and find you.
It's June 11th at 11 a.m. and I'll be at Fanfare X with Nashville Universe. So yeah, if you're in town, stop by, say hey. I'll be doing a meet and greet for about, I think, 30 minutes to an hour. So
Awesome. Have you done a meet and greet before?
I haven't, no. So I'm really excited about this. I love like talking to everybody. Like I always love running the tip bucket downtown and talking to everybody. So I'm so excited for this. I love hearing where everyone's from, their stories. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Was there, because I was reading all the comments on your video, Hey Girl, that did really well. People sharing their own personal stories. Was there a certain comment that person shared about one of their stories that really stuck in your mind?
There were a few. It was just, you don't realize how many people are struggling and going through things that you might think you're alone in. There were a few people saying like that they had just struggled with depression or anxiety a lot, and really all of the comments, all of them hit me so much, every single one of them. And it was just, it was so, I was so glad for people to tell their stories and to know that this song may have helped them in some way.
Does that change your perspective on why you do what you do? Because, for me, I imagine all of us, we all want to grow up and be famous and play in front of lots of crowds and make all this money. But then when you actually do start to have some success and you realize how you can positively impact people's lives, does that change your perspective? Like, wow, hey, I can actually help people also with my songwriting.
Yeah. Well, my whole life, like I've wanted for my music and just my brand, I guess, to be a platform to help people. But I never knew like exactly what way that would be in. Like maybe if I could throw like a benefit or something. Or I just never knew like what way I would be able to help people. But I wanted to, and I wanted to use my music to help people. I just didn't know how. And so after a lot of people viewed this, I started realizing like, okay, this is how I can help them, is writing for me and them at the same time, and like a note that it's going to be okay, and other songs like that. So
awesome. She was on my desk. Just slipped my mind. What else do I have to say? Oh yeah, now I remember. What do you mind sharing like a personal story of yours? Because you said that you have struggled with anxiety and stuff. Do you mind sharing a personal story of
yeah.
that you went through that kind of inspired that song?
Yeah, so I was 12, and my grandma had been terminally ill with cancer for about 4.5 years. And she lived with us. We were so close. She was like a second mama to me. Like it was always me, my mom, my dad, and her. Like we were all just so close. And I'm really close with my parents. I'm really close with my grandparents. And so she always lived with us. And she got diagnosed with cancer. And so then she was sick for about 4.5 years. And right before she passed away, I had a terrible time just trying to wrap my mind around it, because I was so young, and it's so hard, especially at 12, trying to figure out what's going on, trying to wrap your mind around all of it. And so I went through a really bad stage of depression at that time, right before she passed away. And then she did in April of that year. And my anxiety then got really bad. And I've always dealt with anxiety, but never quite that bad. And it was really bad at that time. And that's when I started writing. And that's usually if I'm writing about my anxiety or depression, that's the time in my life I look back on. So.
Very relatable. I unfortunately went through the same situation. When I was 7, my grandmother passed away from breast cancer, and she battled with it for 3 years. And yeah, I'm very sorry about your loss too. But it's very traumatic because you're so young, and you don't really understand why it's happening and how could something like that happen to somebody. It's very, because I still remember because all the chemo, my grandmother was vomiting a lot, and those have always stuck out in my brain, just those, because you just see them struggling, and it's just so tough watching somebody go through that.
And it's traumatic.
Yes.
So yeah, no, I definitely know what you mean. But.
Let's move on to something a little more lighthearted. So at what point, you said you moved to Nashville 2 years ago. What was the conversations with your family saying, hey, I want to pursue, this is my dream, this is my passion, I'm going to make a career out of this? What were those conversations like, and what did y'all decide?
Well, so we came up here 2 years ago, and I just to kind of see like, what it was like and everything. And we went to the Commodore, or we were going to go into the Commodore, but I actually at the time was like in the middle of a bad breakup, and so I just like wanted to stay in the hotel room the whole time, or in the car. So anyways, but we came up here to like, just look things over and figure out maybe how I was going to get into writers' rounds or playing anywhere. And so we actually came up here, and I wanted to play so bad. I told my parents, I was like, I'm not going home until I play somewhere. So I didn't end up playing anywhere that trip, but we came back 2 weeks later, and I did. So I just told them, I was like, I'm I need to play up here. So I just wanted that really, really bad. And so then we started coming up about once a month for like 3-4 days, maybe a week at a time. And I would just play like a line of shows, have a co-write in between. And then last May, we got an apartment here. So we finally officially moved here last year. But it's only about 3.5 hours from our hometown to Nashville. So it wasn't bad. We could travel back and forth, but it's much easier living here now. So
I found out, I can't say this publicly, but I do have a good friend of mine who is moving to Nashville here soon. We have not been yet.
yeah.
So hopefully in August, we are hoping to come to Nashville, and we would love to see you play, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
How did you go about getting gigs when you first started going there?
Well, the first place I did play at was the Commodore. And basically, we just emailed the booker, and they let me do an open mic there. And so I was so nervous. That was like, honestly, one of the most nervous I've ever been. Because, like, since I'm from Atlanta, it's just a different music scene. And I had played there, and I didn't know, like, how my stuff was going to go over in Nashville. So I was so nervous, but it went well. And then I got booked for a round about a month after. And so then we just started, like, messaging other writers' rounds that week that I was going to be up here. And they were like, yeah, we'll let you play. So there were 3 rounds I played that week, I think. It was the Commodore, Alley Taps, and Cabana Taps. Or Belcourt Taps, yeah. It was Belcourt. So, but it was a really good experience. And then we just started coming back and forth for a while. So
have you been able to open up for anybody really famous, or have you met anybody really famous yet since being in Nashville?
I met John Oates. I was playing at Virgin Hotel one night, and he came in and watched, and that was pretty neat. I just went up and introduced myself to him, so that was pretty neat. And I haven't met Cole Swindell, but he was at Virgin Hotel that night also.
He's a great fan also. So.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. And then I met Gail at the local one night. So that was really neat. But yeah, those are the only famous people that I've met right now. So.
Nice.
Well, from everybody I've talked to, it seems like when you move to Nashville, the best thing to do is just to make a lot of connections and
Yes.
get into, not writers' rounds, but just write with people. Just get into a room and start writing with people and, see what comes of it. I was listening to a Hardy interview a couple months ago, and he's like, the best thing to do when you come to Nashville is just to become good friends with everybody, be really nice, listen, because there's always, something to learn from somebody, because that's just the best way to make it here.
Yeah. That's what I started trying to do, was just like after every single writer's round, like it would be like I would usually play at like 6 o'clock and it would go till like really late, because like usually it's not like this all the time, but usually like first time people play at the beginning, and then like people that have played there a lot more will play towards the end. And so usually I was booked at like 5 or 6 o'clock, but like after every round I would just go up and be like, hey, I'm MaCartney. You sounded great. I'm a musician. I just moved here. So I tried to make a lot of connections when I first moved here, just to make good connections. So yeah.
Life is a lot about who you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like our friends, Tiger Lily Gold, they moved out there and they pushed. I mean, she said they were playing just openings for 10 years and just playing on Broadway and whatever bar would take them. And yeah.
Yeah, I actually met them on Broadway one time.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're pretty famous
They're
now.
pretty big. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
them.
But yeah, they were playing, and it was like early in the morning, and so she just came to us with a tip bucket, and I talked to her for a little bit. They're so sweet.
They are
So-
the
They are the
nicest.
sweetest people in the world.
They are.
Them, Breland, and
Yeah.
well, Nate Smith was really nice, and Frank
Ray.
Ray. Yeah, I mean, they're just, especially Frank Ray and Tiger Lily Gold, like they are just two of the like most
They're the nicest people.
nicest people in the whole world. It was really
are.
cool with Tiger Lily Gold. So they followed us like months ago in here, and we connected, and they commented on some of our stuff. And next thing I know, I get on Instagram one day, and they're like, it's a video of them that's from our local radio station. Like, we're coming to Charleston to play. I was like, all right. So we got to meet them, and yeah, they were like just so overly nice
they
and
were
friendly.
so awesome. Yeah.
That's a good connection to have.
They're very nice. So.
Yeah.
And the type of people, it's nice when you see people who are really sweet and they're becoming really successful, like people you really can root for. That makes listening to the music more enjoyable.
Yeah, especially when they're hardworking. Like that's what we always love about meeting people and like just the arts industry in general, whether it's singing, dancing, entertainment, whatever you do. Like it's just meeting people that are so hardworking and that you know that they're pushing for whatever highest level they can get to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed meeting so many people here, and it's been encouraging, really, meeting so many people and like seeing their journey and how they've been successful. So, yeah, it's been good.
Do you feel like it motivates you being around so many talented artists that are in Nashville?
I definitely do.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, I feel like if I'm ever like playing around where there are like really good people on my round, it makes me rise to the occasion also. So, and it's just so encouraging. Like if you meet somebody, and like the night I met Gail, it was just at a party, but it was so encouraging. Like this is the place where this kind of thing happens. And so that really was, when I started coming up here, one of the main things, because in Georgia, you don't really meet a lot of people that are famous. So it's really encouraging here. So
if you had give me your top 3 male vocalists that you could do a song and do a duet with.
Okay.
Who would you put on there?
Probably number 1 would be Axl Rose.
Okay.
I like that
one. He's been on stage with Carrie Underwood. That was an incredible video. Them doing was it Welcome to the Jungle or Sweet Child of Mine? I forgot what song they did.
I'm not sure.
It was Welcome to the Jungle.
Mm-hmm.
That was incredible.
Yeah, I'm so excited. She's actually going to be with him at the Nashville concert, so I'm so excited to see them together. But let's see, number two might be Elliott Smith.
Okay.
I mean, I know I couldn't do one with him, but that would have been a really good experience. Or country artist right now definitely would be probably like Morgan Wallen, Hardy, one of them.
Yeah.
That's like pretty high up in country right now. I would definitely like to.
Probably like me, you like Hardy since you like rock and country.
Yeah.
Especially when I listened to the new album he put out and he put Jeremy McKinnon on that song. Because I mean, my first concert ever was A Day to Remember and Rise Against. And so when he had put Jeremy McKinnon on that song, radio song, I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, how does this go from like half country to like heavy metal?
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely got a lot of influence with rock, so I still like I feel like Carrie's got a really rock element to her songs, and I still really like all that too. So
Well, I've always said I feel like everybody who's really successful has something unique about them or their music. Do you feel like, what do you feel like about you is unique that people really grasp onto?
um well, I feel like this this is not 100% my music, but I feel like my accent makes me a little bit more different because it's so heavy. And I think people like kind of think that's interesting sometimes because like it's just interesting because I'm from so far in the South. But I also think like I grew up with a lot of different music taste. So like I love alternative, I love rock, I like a lot of indie kind of music. And so I feel like if I can put that with country, that can be a really different sound.
Yeah.
So I think honestly like my influences might be the biggest thing that makes me a little bit more different. So
Great answer.
Yeah,
thank you.
awesome.
So, when it comes to social media, how do you go about marketing yourself? Are you just on TikTok? Are you doing YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels? Obviously you're posting on TikTok, but tell me a little bit about your thought process on that.
Yeah, so I've been I started with Instagram, and I started trying to build that about 4 years ago. And so basically what I started doing was I just started trying to post like every 2 or 3 days. And then eventually it started stacking up a little bit. But then I decided I was like, I'm going to do TikTok. It's a really good platform to share your music on. Probably more than Instagram, honestly. Like, I feel like a lot more people come off TikTok to listen to something than Instagram, maybe. But I really started diving into TikTok, just like trying to make a video every day or trying to post every day. And so since I've really went into TikTok, I've been going just with Instagram, just kind of at a steady rate with it. But ever since I've been doing TikTok, I've been doing like more YouTube Shorts, more Facebook Reels. I've been trying to post on Facebook every day, like separate from Instagram. So I think definitely it's just it's been a lot, and Twitter. So it's a lot every day, but
I downloaded Clapper and just to get on another platform, and then I realized, thanks for the gifts, guys. I Google searched, which platforms have the most accounts, and it's like Facebook has the most, and YouTube I think is second. And I was like, well, I guess you got to put your content. So now I'm doing Facebook Reels, and next thing you know, every day I'm spending 30 minutes a day uploading a video to each platform, and then you want to make it separate, like you said, and then it's like, okay, well, what should I post on Instagram?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't realize how much of a following you could get on Facebook. Like, I mean, I only have 4,000 followers on there, I think, but it's grown quickly.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that it grew as quickly as it does.
Yeah,
so
thing. I was like, yeah, Facebook's for my family, and then like we switched our accounts to whatever
business
the professional
accounts, professional account on Facebook.
Yeah.
I think it's business
and
on
then,
Instagram, professional on Facebook.
Yeah, and then I was like, what is this? It's just like a totally other thing.
It's like kind of like Instagram or TikTok. Now it tells me how many followers I have. It's now no longer just for family.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
yeah.
kind of bad for my family now.
I know. Now I'm like, sorry guys.
It's like just dance videos all the time now.
Well,
are you a dancer at all, MaCartney?
I'd like to think I am. I don't know if that's enough.
I just love
But
that is a great, like, that answer is probably every singer that we talked to. It's like,
like in my head I am, but I don't know if that's actually true.
Yeah.
So
I'll have Emily give you a couple of
I
pointers.
got you.
Yeah.
thank you. I've tried to do a few TikTok dances, but it just
Yeah, those are great. Those are...
yeah.
My problem is that I grew up dancing and TikTok dances aren't as easy to me. And I don't know if that's because I grew up dancing or what, but those TikTok dances take me a minute to figure out.
Me too, yeah.
They're all just with the hands.
I'm like,
Everybody
they're a
just stands there, they're
different
just like,
beast.
Yeah.
there's no hips involved in TikTok dances. It's just.
Yeah, I took dance for a couple of years in high school, but I just can't get really TikTok dances down, so
Like, that's
At least you have
all that matters. Is that
yeah.
you
So obviously you just released Hey Girl
turn the
here
light on.
recently. Yeah. Are you planning on putting an EP out later this year? Another single? Do you have anything else lined up?
Well, I'm hoping to put at least a few more singles out this year, and just trying to keep it on just a steady rate of putting singles out. So I'm working on trying to get the next one ready to record and get that one out. So yeah, I'm hoping to put out a few more before the end of the year. So
Doing all that.
Oh, so much.
And people don't realize how much money all that stuff costs too.
yeah, it's a little bit, but it's not too bad. So if you can find the right person, it's not bad. So
We have a few more minutes left. Tell us a little bit about who you like to write with. Do you write most everything by yourself? Do you have co-writers?
So, I usually just write by myself. I do a lot of co-writes, but most of my songs, it's just me at midnight on my guitar and just writing whatever. But I do a lot of co-writes. I write at the writing rooms around town, and I've done a good many. I'm not sure how many now, but I've written with a good many people. But I don't know. I haven't really written with people more than once yet. So pretty much everyone I've written with, I've only written with once. So I don't know if I have some people have a group kind of that they always write with. I don't know if I have that quite yet, but I'm hoping to find it soon. So
I think it's authentic because it came from you.
Yeah.
yeah. So
How do you feel about writing songs that somebody else may use? Do you have a problem letting that go?
I've tried to pitch a few songs, but I would love to have somebody record one of my songs. There are a few songs that I have that are super, super personal to me that I feel wouldn't resonate with the person maybe singing it, just because it's so specific to my journey, my story. But almost any other song that I write, I would love to get it cut by somebody. That would be literally a dream come true. So that's what I'm working towards also, is writing my own music, but also trying to get it in front of other people in case they want to cut it too. So
That's awesome.
I don't think I have any more questions. I did just want to say though, because I know, you probably obviously know this by now with social media, but because I know I wasn't sitting here, but I was listening about the anxiety and the depression and all that kind of stuff. But I did just want to say, if you ever want somebody to talk to that understands what that limelight's like and the anxiety and the depression that you can fall into if you read those comments too much, I am always here. We are always here to talk to
So much.
because it can get hard, and it's okay that it gets hard
Yeah.
because we deal with it every day, and I know you probably deal with it every day, that it's not the easiest sometimes, but we are always here. I definitely feel that whole anxiety and panic and whatever and that whole thing because I'm there with you. But
Thank you so much.
yeah, I'm always here, and we're always here to talk to if you ever want to and need to.
Yeah.
We always have a line.
The best piece of advice my dad ever gave me as a child was you're never as great or as bad as people say. Because you're going to get both ends of the spectrum as you continue your career. Some people are going to tell you you're the most amazing person I've ever heard sing, and some people are going to tell you you're never going to hack it and you need to quit now.
Yep.
Especially with internet trolls. So don't let that affect you.
Yeah.
Stick to what you believe in, and as long as you're happy with yourself and you can lay your head at night comfortably, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Don't let anyone change you. Don't let anyone change who you are.
But thank y'all.
Yeah,
Thank
of course.
Well, we very much appreciate you coming on and talking to us.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed this.
Yes. We think you're very talented, and we're very excited to follow your career, and we hope to come see you play here sometime this year.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love that. But yeah, thank y'all so much.
Of course.
Well, enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
And also, if you can send me a picture that you would like me to use for the thumbnail for the video, after we get off here, and I'll have this uploaded to YouTube probably tomorrow, most likely.
Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome. We'll talk to you soon, MaCartney.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.